Today we're in Carentan in Normandy, and we're here to look at the actual locations that were featured in the famous episode of Band of Brothers where Easy Company attacked Carentan. Carentan is a town that sits between the edges of what was Utah Beach and Omaha Beach, and it was a key town that the Allies had to capture in order to unite the two beachheads shortly after D-Day. Now, you guys might remember there is a whole episode of Band of Brothers dedicated to the attack on Carentan. Now, it's important to note that it wasn't just Easy Company who attacked Carentan, but the video today, we are going to head around Carentan and we are going to look at some of the places that were featured in that episode of Band of Brothers. So we're going to look at the real places where Easy Company were, the real locations that they went through on the assault of Carentan, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that along the way. This isn't going to be an entire history lesson on the assault of Carentan. That would be a much bigger video, and like I said, it would include details about all the different units involved and not just the 101st Airborne and specifically Easy Company. That's what we're here to look at today, because this is going to be a story looking at the real places that were featured in that episode of Band of Brothers. First place we're going to go is just on the outskirts of town to look at the place where Easy Company moved in towards Carentan at the start of the attack. Let's go. So I've just come out to the edge of town, and this road here is the road that Easy Company advanced down. And in Band of Brothers is depicted where Winters is trying to get the guys to move forwards, and they come under machine gun fire. Well, that happened from this building just ahead of us down at the other end of the road right here, and as depicted in the series Band of Brothers, the guys ducked into the ditches either side of the road. Now this area is a lot more built up than it was then, and in fact all this piece here has all been redeveloped, but along either side of this road here is where those ditches would have been, and the guys all had to dive for cover, and the machine gun fire was coming from the building at the end of the road here, and this is the road that they used to advance forwards into Carentan. Okay, so I've just come down a little bit now. You can see this is the building where the Germans had the machine gun base, and you can see why, because this is the kind of road that leads into the centre of Carentan, and this here is where we just were. So this is the road that Easy Company advanced down here and had to deal with the machine gun in here, and then work their way building to building, real close combat down here into the centre of Carentan. Now you can really see as you move down into the centre of the town here in Carentan, it really is a built-up area, and still would have been back then. So we are talking close combat, building to building, fighting for these guys here. So we've just walked down now. We're coming down the main road that leads into the centre of town, into Carentan. Down here at the end of this road is a junction that the Germans had pre-marked and had artillery set up to bring down on that position whenever they needed to, which they did do, but we'll talk about that when we get further up. So I'm just walking down now. We've just come out to kind of near the junction that I was talking about, but there's a spot which I quickly wanted to stop at, because it is believed that this green building behind me here is the building that was used to set up the aid station for Easy Company. And you might remember, depicted in Band of Brothers, they have the scenes where Blythe has the temporary blindness, hysterical blindness they called it at the time, but we now know that that would be something related to post-traumatic stress from the things that he had to deal with. And also Winters was treated by Doc Rowe, and that is believed to be in the Easy Company aid station that was set up in this green building right here behind me. So we just arrived down at the junction I was talking about. Now this behind me would have been a level crossing at the time, across this little railway here behind me. It's not anymore, it's been closed off. But this junction here had been pre-marked by the German artillery, and they had artillery ready to be able to bring down and pinpoint on this location, and they needed, as they needed to. And as the Men of Easy Company advanced up here and moved into this area, they came under fire here. Depicted in the series where Lipton's saying, "Oh, get out the way," and he gets hit. That would have happened somewhere around here, because this is the area where all of the artillery was brought down on the men of the 101st as they moved in towards Carentan. Now I can't do it today because, as I mentioned, this railway crossing has been built across now, but if you carry on across here and down this way, this goes in towards the centre of Carentan, which is where we're going to head for now. We have to go over this bridge though to get around. Okay, so we've just moved up into the centre of Carentan here. This is where you have the Carentan War Memorial behind us, and one of the things which I do quite like about Band of Brothers is one of the bits where they try to kind of get some of the detail. And over here, I'm going to show you in a second, you have kind of arches along the side of the little sort of square area here, and they had that pretty accurately actually in the series. Having seen them now in person and seeing them in the series, where the guys like kind of rushed under through the archways, it's pretty accurate, to be fair, which I do like the level of detail which they tried to pay attention to here. So this is the centre of Carentan where the guys pushed in. So you know, men of the 101st were pushing through from this side. You know, Carentan was also being attacked from other sides as well, and as they got into the centre here and met up, and Carentan was captured. Now it's worth noting that the resistance in Carentan wasn't actually huge. The Germans had largely pulled out of Carentan as part of a plan to move out and then launch a big counter-attack, and that did happen. As the 101st moved out of Carentan, they ran into a heavy German counter-attack coming back the other way, and that then becomes the Battle of Bloody Gulch, which we'll talk about maybe in another video. I'm not going to get into that part of it today. But yeah, here we are, the centre of Carentan. So I mentioned the archways, right? Well, look, I do kind of, as you come up and you can see the archways all through the centre of town, and we're stood under them right now. So I do like the fact that this was depicted pretty accurately in the series. It's where they kind of tried to pay attention to the detail, right? So you can see, if I come out, you can see behind me, there we go, it's the archways in the centre of Carentan. So I thought we'd just come and check out the Carentan War Memorial. It commemorates people from both wars, you can see. So you have 1914 to 1918, obviously the First World War, and then 1939 to 1945, Second World War, here in the square in the centre of Carentan. Hope you guys found this little video interesting. Wasn't like a huge kind of factual tour, it's more of just like a showing you the places type video. Well, I'll try and come back here at some point again and talk about the story a bit more extensively, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.